City of Jackson Engineering Department Assistant City Engineer Jeff Crow. Jeff, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me back, Bart.
Yeah, and thanks for taking time from busy construction season to be here.
Well, we'll take any opportunity to explain exactly what we got going on, because the reality is, anyone who's a resident here, they see the orange cones, they may be a little confused at what the heck is going on out here. So we encourage any opportunity to explain what construction we got, as well as hopping on our city website, cityofjackson.org. We have a street construction map too, which is GIS based, very user friendly. We also have a code red communication system too as well for the more residents who are a little bit more directly impacted with our stuff. But yeah, happy to be here and explain what we got.
Nice. So we want better roads. We don't necessarily like the construction, but when it's done, it's nice.
Yeah, it's really the investment that pays off. There's a little short-term pain, a little hassle in the commute, but I assure you, it's going to be good infrastructure for years to come.
One project going on right now, I noticed, I actually kind of stumbled on it. It's on the MLK Equality Trail, and it has been improved, really in a large part, but there's still a couple of places that still have to be rebuilt, and I think that's where you are right now.
Yeah. So as you were saying, we've been on the Martin Luther King Equality Trail for about 3 years now. We're trying to reconstruct the old, narrow, 8-foot wide asphalt path. We're going to reconstruct that with a new 12-foot wide concrete path. It's a 3-year program. We're towards the end of the 3-year program to reconstruct all the way from Weatherwax Drive to the southwest up to Merriman Street to the northeast. And if you recall, about 2 years ago, we constructed the portion between Prospect and West Ave. And then last year, we branched off from both of those ends, going from West Ave down to the Optimist Shelter, as well as from Prospect up to Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. And this year, we're tackling the last 2 remaining segments, which is from the Optimist Shelter down to Weatherwax Drive, and then we have Martin Luther King Jr. Drive up to Merriman Street. And that's where our contractor is working at right now. They mobilized to the site about a couple weeks ago, but they've been quite busy. They've been removing the vegetation from within 25 feet of the center line of the proposed trail, and now they're removing the topsoil from within the footprint of the proposed trail. Because as I mentioned, we are widening it quite a bit, and the reason for that it's a goal to have a more complete street in terms of safety and accessibility, and we do believe that these new crossings at the different intersections with a widened path will help facilitate the safe efforts.
Yes, and Summit Township, you are getting a nice benefit from this because some of that MLK trail is actually in.
If you want to even expand even further beyond that, our MLK Equality Trail is part of the Iron Bell Trail, which is a 2,000-mile stretch of proposed and existing trails that connects all the way from the Iron Bell in the western UP, all the way to Bell Island, I should say, in Detroit. So it's very important to keep our infrastructure, our portion of this trail, in good condition for years to come.
We want to be the crown jewel of the whole trail, and I think we are.
This is the gold standard for today's terms in regards to trails. A 12-foot wide, clear pathway is the way to go.
All right, let's take a look at some of the street construction going on in the MLK corridor. That's the big one of the summer.
Yeah, I would say it's the biggest one that we've had for quite a long time. Yeah. And the reason for that is this is a major 2-phase effort to reconstruct Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, beginning at Morrell Street to the north and extending 1 mile south to South Street. I say street reconstruction, but as you see that excavator, he's doing a lot of digging because we're replacing all the infrastructure beneath the street too as well. Given the size and complexity, it's going to be a 2-phase approach over 2 years. And phase 1, which extends from Morrell Street to High Street, just kicked off last month. And so what the contractor is doing is they're installing sanitary sewer pipe currently, and they have already installed and tested the new water distribution main pipe. When I say tested, I'm talking pressure testing to make sure it is free of leaks, followed by a week-long process of flushing, disinfection, sampling, and testing to make sure it's free of harmful bacteria. So now the contractor is continuing to install the sanitary sewer pipe, as well as connect the existing water service lines from each home to this new water main beneath the street. And if you recall last year, we were at this area in this project limits last year, replacing the old lead service material lines with new copper pipe. And we did that so this new phase in 2025 is smooth sailing, so we can get the project done. Hopefully we can have this back open the traffic by the end of the year. Our goal is to get it by November.
Will the residents of MLK Junior Drive enjoy better water pressure in the shower?
It's really that pressure is what you look for, and it really is instantaneous. Once you hit the on switch and once everything's connected, you'll feel it right away.
Awesome. All right, now let's go to East Michigan and the area around the train station, the bridges, and there's multiple things happening with water and streets.
Yeah. So the main driver for this project here, and it's on Pearl Street as well as you mentioned, Bart, quite a lot of streets around it. It's a water transmission main replacement project. But as we're doing with Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, when we tear up the street to replace this infrastructure, we try to replace all the antiquated infrastructure too as well. And so the contractor currently is on Pearl Street between Columbus and Cooper Street, and they're installing the sanitary sewer main between those two blocks. But now they're going to transition though. They're going to be on Cooper Street at the Pearl intersection, and they're going to transition to water transmission main, and they're going to extend from there and head south on Cooper to Michigan. And that's where the Michigan Department of Transportation and their project is currently. And so we're working closely with MDOT as they're replacing part of the water transmission main for us south of that intersection as part of the Cooper Street Bridge project. And we're handling the northern part from that intersection. But that's just one small piece on Cooper. We're also extending on Pearl Street, going from Cooper to Waterloo. We're installing water transmission main on Waterloo, headed south of Michigan. Then we're going to head east on Michigan to East Ave, and then finally south on East Ave to Plymouth Street. So we're going to take care of all of that this year. So those orange cones and delineators, if you see a lot and they're excessive, that's the reason. That's what we got going on. But we try to connect with businesses and residents to see how we can do better in terms of dust control, in terms of traffic control, as far as orange cones. So we're really all hands on deck as far as the daily effort goes to make sure we don't impact the businesses as much while we don't impact this construction, to make sure that we get this done on the completion date, which is November, similar to Martin Luther King Jr. Drive.
What's interesting to me is the detour because the Glick in East Michigan that goes by the train station has at one point, you got to go through 3 traffic signals. Now to take the detour, which would be for me, Mechanic Street to Detroit, across, and then down State Street to East Michigan, that actually is faster as a detour than the area that I used to travel when it wasn't under construction.
Possibly now, and if you use local streets from a detour from a major street, you may get there faster, but there's going to be some conflicts. In any case, what we don't want to do is close down a major street and then detour to a local street. That impacts the residents. There's no signals on the street, so it gets congested too as well. So we try to detour major street traffic to major street roads. So that's why you may see a lot of detour signs, maybe excessive perhaps, that tell you to go further down than you may need to. But that's the reason why. It's in terms of safety.
Yeah, and I think Waze has been very controversial, the app, because it does sometimes direct people to take local neighborhood streets. And it does. It adds traffic to where little kids, are playing ball in the street.
And if there's any questions, we're always a phone call away. We can always clarify or even add more detour signs if needed.
All right. And do we get them all? Are we still? That's it? Oh, wow. All right.
Well, we do have a lot more construction work to go. So you hit a few, but I would say a few of the 13 that we got active. The name of the game here is water distribution main replacement. Right now we got 10 streets across 13 blocks of those streets that are going to get a lot of water distribution main replaced. We have more sidewalk improvements. You mentioned Mechanic Street as one of your detours. We're actually adding a 10-foot sidewalk path on the west side of Mechanic Street from Detroit the Trail. That's also going to commence here in a couple months. Should be wrapped up shortly after Labor Day here. So,
Awesome.
lots of work.
All right, well, great to see you. Thanks for all the updates.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks, Bart.
You bet. Jeff Crow, Assistant City Engineer with the City of Jackson.